greetings to you all in this wonderful night. And speaking to us, it's the countdown is on. 17th is right around the corner. I don't know who's looking, who's cooking, and who's looking, but Third Eye Atlas, where you at? I'm looking out for Third Eye Atlas because it's coming. It's not that it's coming here, but it's passing. It's getting ready to pass Jupiter and this expansion as we move through the mansion of mansions. My father's mansion has many rooms. Is that how it goes? Many, many, many rooms. So we're looking at, with all that is transpiring, what is conspiring? What is conspiring and what's going on in the conspiracy that we're seeing in the energetic realm, in the realm of principalities, right? And as I say that, I'm thinking about, how all of us may be looking like crazies at times. That's what they want it to be, the cray craze. All the cray craze hanging together until they don't know where to go, and they gonna come looking for everybody that they call cray cray. But what I want to share with you is what we can do in getting through these times right now. And that is going to be taking a deep breath, allowing yourself to feel the feelings. See, I'm talking about the sacral, and I'm going to speak more. I'm speaking more about the sacral so we can understand what it is that the sacral is doing. Sacral being the emotional body, and allowing us to extract the information by allowing the sensation. But what's in the sensation? What are we feeling in the sensations? What is it telling us? And I'm speaking to my empathic people specifically. This one right here is probably going to help you become more of an empowered empath, if that's the path that you are on. And the empowered empath knows the difference between their feelings and other people's feelings. And the empath is always feeling other people's feelings as if it's their feelings. So it can really feel like a whole lot, right? So for those of us that, as we're going through and we're feeling what's being hit at you, we feeling things in the energetic realm that everybody else ain't feeling, because everything is in the field of information. And if we are feeling the field of information, how do we get that information? It's through the sensations of what we are feeling. And we got to think about our auric field. We got to think about how, for me, I don't know how people don't see this sometimes, but the auric field, it goes out like 6 feet around you, up, down, sideways, 6 feet. I want us to think about that. Because a lot of times we go through our day and we're not thinking about how we're sitting in each other's auric field. Like, you're sharing information with people, and this is what I don't get right now, when people are like, well, how do you know? Or why you act like you could read my mind? But that's because I can, because I could read the time. If I could read the time, I could read your mind. And no, it doesn't mean that I know every single thing about you, but the information is being shared in a particular way. Now, how? I don't know the mechanics of it. I don't know what determines which information is going to be shared. And it could be that it has a lot to do with certain levels of coherency or, okay, Spirit, how you want to give it to me? It has to do with what attracts and what repels, right? There's certain things that repels in the information field, and yet that is dropped in your information field, right? It's not just the things that attract. There are things in the information field that it will be repelling. And just because they pick it up that it repels. And a lot of times they still want to poke, but they don't know. It's unconscious to them. So they feel this in the field of information, and then the information is just shared, and then they may do something or say something. Thank you so much. Thank you for the hearts. I forgot to bring my glasses. I'm trying to see your name. Like, what's the name? What it say? I think I see a Z. Is that Z? Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know if it say A or Z. I think it say Ariel. I should have brought the glasses out. But yeah, the information field is sharing so much, and we don't realize empaths. That's why we feel like once we're close to them, or like we'll feel it instantly, whatever their feelings are. And sometimes we don't even have words for it. It's just, what is this overwhelming feeling? And a lot of what's happening now for those of us empaths who are, let's say, more empowered or just even more sensitive, hypersensitive. There's a hypersensitive too that's happening. And so you will feel it, and it's like, boom, it just kind of hits over you, and you got to figure out what is it, and I don't want you to feel like you got to try to do too much math to try to understand it. But it's really, thank you for the hearts, because it keeps getting it to other people. It hits you, and then you have to decipher it. You have to sift through it. And in order to sift through it, we got to allow ourselves to sit through it, to feel it, be vulnerable rather than running from it, or rather than resisting it, or even trying to call it a name. Just allow yourself to feel it and sit in it and sit in it until the information pours itself in. And when the information pours itself in, then then it's like, all right, Spirit, what you want me to do with this? Right? Because sometimes it doesn't mean you need to do an action. Sometimes it's just for you to have the information, as most of the times we do. A lot of the times we feel things and we play like we don't feel it, but you got the information though. Right now, the times are calling for us to be a little bit more responsible with the information that we're feeling and sensing as empaths, so that we're not lying to ourselves about whatever it is. Because believe me, if you start lying to yourself about it as an empowered empath, as one who is responsible with the information, if you start to kind of deny it or push it aside, then you start to have migraines. Right now, these are people who are having suffering with particular glasses. Thank you. These are people who are suffering with severe migraines right now. You may be feeling it between the eyes, somewhere around here, especially if you're feeling it like around the third eye. It's because you're playing with your intuition. You're playing with the information. Who feels it knows it. It's not just a saying for, well, if you fell down and got your butt hurt, now you know why. It's not just for that saying. It's for also saying, if you feel it in the field of information, then you know what it is. If you feel it in the field, do you sense it? Do you taste it? Can you smell what the rock is cooking? I don't know how much of y'all remember that, but can you smell what the rock is cooking? What's cooking, good looking? That's what the energies are saying to us. Do you know what's cooking? Right? And then I'm hearing fish don't fry in the kitchen. Beans don't burn on the grill. I don't know why that song came up, but that's what I'm hearing in my head right now. Do you know what's cooking? And do you know that fish don't fry in the kitchen? Beans don't burn on the grill. What they trying to say? You get out here with that fish. If you see, this is about discernment. This is the first time. Okay, maybe that's why I was meant to hear that song. Thank you, Spirit. I never even heard it like that. Fish don't fry in the kitchen. Beans don't burn on the grill. What is that saying to what we're talking about now? What you feel in the information field? Do you feel it? Do you smell what's cooking? Do you notice, and are you aware that fish do not fry in the kitchen? That means there's something that you're doing that you need to not be doing. Pay attention. This is not where we do that. This is not how we do that. Take that fish outside. You're in the wrong environment. Beans don't burn on the grill. Why are you grilling beans? Why are you putting the beans outside on the grill? Switch that up. Ooh, somebody didn't like that. Somewhere, something didn't like that. I just got a little on the heart. Hold on now. Ooh, it's an attack on the heart. There is an attack on the energetic field. I felt that pinch. Some people don't want to know that. Some people don't want to do the work of knowing what's in the information field. Some people don't want to be responsible for their empathic abilities, right? We got to be responsible with it. We got to know how to sift it out. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Whoever's coming through, go ahead, drop some hearts on the way in. It helps other people get it. We got to know what our empathic abilities are, and we got to know how to navigate through them, right? And be wise with them. An empowered empath helps to discern what's really happening. You'll be able to discern what's, frying in the kitchen and burning on the grill. What's getting fried on the light grid, right? You're going to be able to discern that. But we have to pay attention to what we feel, and it can't be personal. We got to depersonalize. Nothing personal. And this is what the emotional body helps us to understand. The sacral chakra, as the emotional body, helps us understand this. Peace, love, and light. Thank you for the hearts. And so when we tune in to tune up, we allow ourselves to be vulnerable enough to sit with the feeling, no matter how uncomfortable it is. And then as it comes, you process it. Right? And this is what happened literally to me tonight. I told y'all we've been under attack. And I go in, today is Mercury and Mars day. So what does that mean? That's bringing the passion through the messages. So there's things that needed to be brought to our awareness, information, things that needed to be said that hadn't been said in days, months, weeks, even years, that we have not exposed something, and it was time to. Today was that day that said it's time, whether you did it today or not. But today was that time, and I knew that I was going to face what I had been facing all month. Every time Mercury had something this month, Mercury retrograde, the Mercury Cazimi, every time I would go to this particular spot, I would go to my family member's house, this same family member would show up every time on the Mercury. So I knew today, and I felt it. I had it in a dream, and it was like, you're going to go there today. And this needs to be discussed if that opportunity presents itself. You cannot let it slide. Reason being, there are things that we are transcending through, and these are the opportunities. We don't want the energetic seal to happen, and we did not do what we needed to do for this particular lifetime. So it may seem trivial, it may even seem like it's not that big of a deal. It is. If it was something that was being brought to your attention, particularly in the past month, it is a big deal, and it needs your attention and your intention more than anything. It's, you need to put your intention on it of what needs to be done, and then follow it up. Mars is giving you that action. Mars takes initiative. Mars is bringing the fire over those waters of Pisces. Pisces being the house of spirituality. So it's giving us the opportunity to really take care of multi-dimensional things. Past lives that we have come and gone and come and gone and have not dealt with a particular thing, something that is reoccurring. Right? And in this lifetime that has not been addressed, it's time to break that. And when you break it by doing what needs to be done, you're breaking it for yourself, you're breaking it for family members, you're breaking it in that bloodline, what needs to be broken, no matter how uncomfortable it is or off timing it is. You know, as I was there today, I was like, okay, you know, they having dinner, this may not be the right time. And Spirit was like, this is not about timing, this is not about their timing, this is not about mankind's timing. Can you recognize divine time? And can you move when Spirit says move? And so for me personally, I had to work that. And so that's why I'm sharing that with you. I had to go in, and as being a super, you know, I wouldn't say a super empath, but I am hypersensitive and an empowered empath. So feeling that as I went in, and a lot of times your family members don't give you no credit. They don't care. Not that I'm looking for credit from them, but there's no respect. I know that there's no respect. And as soon as I stepped in, I felt this heavy feeling of, what is she doing here? You know, like you could feel it. They're not saying it, but again, it's in the information field. And people forget that their field speaks to me way louder than they ever could. Your field of information is saying everything. You don't have to say a word. Y'all know that song is written all over your face. You don't have to say a word. Yeah, you don't have to say a word. It's written all up in your information field, and I'm picking it up. And I'm hearing it loudly. It's like they all was like, they all said hello. Some smiled, some didn't. And was like, damn, you know, it's like, why is she here? And I could feel the feedback. I could feel the energetic feedback. And I can feel, most importantly, I could feel their resistance. this deep level of resistance. It almost felt like darkness in the room because people really are resisting. Peace, love, and light. I am the way. Good to see you here today. Share some hearts to get some more people on the way. Ashe, ashe. Do you find it difficult to trust your feelings? Sometimes. But you know what? No, most of the times I'm trusting my feelings. I've been doing this long enough. I've been sensitive all my life to the point where people keep saying, "You too sensitive. You too sensitive," till I had to grow past that and be like, "Damn, I'm that intuitive." I had to learn my gift. I had to learn that this is not a, "Oh, you too sensitive." And it's the problem is they're not sensitive enough. They're not spiritual enough, because that's another word they keep telling. Oh, you too spiritual. No, you're not spiritual enough, and you're not sensitive enough, and you're not deep enough. So as I've been doing it for so long that I've learned that I trust my feelings, even though throughout, let's say, my teenage years and things like that, it'll be like, "Well, I don't know about that." Sometimes we kind of get that other voice in our head that don't really want to go along with it, and it's like, "I don't know about that." But you do. You do. Most of us, we feel exactly what's there. When we don't trust our feelings, that's really the logical mind. That's the ego. And the logical mind, the intellectual mind, that's when we want to intellectualize things. Right? Peace, love, and light. Thank you for the lightning bolt. Lightning. We want to we want to like not acknowledge it. We want to intellectualize it. And it's like, no, you know what you felt. And this is what this time frame is about. This is what I'm talking about with the sacral. Know what you felt. Honor what you felt. Right? And acknowledge it and have accountability and be like, that's the feeling. Be vulnerable enough to say, well, damn, this is a bit much. Like me, I had to go tonight and go sit down, and once I felt all of that, and it was like, I'm not scared of it, but it's so much that you don't want to, blow up on them, because a part of you just want to be like, damn, what the hell is y'all but if you blow up on them, they don't get it, because they don't get what you feel. They don't get that you're sensing the wounds in them that they are not aware of. And see, this is what mature spirituality looks like. It's not just about going off on people all the damn time. We got to have compassion for the collective. We got to remember, forgive them for they know not what they do. We got to remember that they don't know themselves. They themselves are not aware of these feelings that are there. And that's what, as I was sitting there and I'm laying there and I'm, thinking about it, going to spirit about it. And it's like, they don't know. We know they don't know. But do we have the patience to deal with it? Do we have the patience to see them through it and understand, overstand, and understand within these feelings that you're getting, the feelings that's giving me the information? And it's like they don't know. They don't see these aspects of them. And if they can't see it, how can they deal with it? How can it be revealed? If they can't feel it, how can they reveal it? How can they heal it? But they think they healed. They'll say, I've had so many conversations lately where they'd be like, I put it, I forgave it. I had forgiveness, and then I don't think about it. Like, this is an excuse that they always give themselves. Like, I don't think about it. I just put it on the back burner somewhere. I don't think about it. I put it aside. I don't want to hold no grudge. Like, these are things that they tell themselves, all to deflect the fact or the truth is that they're not processing it. I forgave it does not mean I processed it. Right? I don't want to hold a grudge doesn't mean I processed it. And if we don't process it, it sits in our information field. It does not go away, and it passes down to your children and your children's children and your children's children, because what's unhealed in you will continue to carry along in the bloodline. You have certain codes in your bloodline, and then they got to honor that. And to those children that are carrying the wounds, they become the gatekeepers for these wounds. And so this is what we're facing right now with the field of information, allowing yourself to feel it and see it and know who's the gatekeeper here, who's holding the wounds right here, what are we doing with this wound, because we're running out of time. We got to get to it, right, real quick. You share your, let me not fight to see this, let me not fight. Ooh. You share your vulnerability with others and they deny it to hide their own vulnerability. Exactly. They don't want to exchange. They don't want to share the revelation, the exchange of revelation, right? They get scared. It's fear for them, right? Ooh, where did my light go? Where did my light go? Let me see if I could ready it back up, because sometimes it just does that. Right? So they don't want that kind of responsibility. They don't want to, they don't want that vulnerability. Responsibility is vulnerability. Hi, peace, love, and light. Come on through, share some hearts. Because when you hit the hearts, it helps get the energetic algorithms to whoever it needs to get through. So even if you're just passing through, just drop some hearts. I'll appreciate it. Thank you. But the vulnerability is really important, especially and in particular with the sacral chakra workshop. Why am I saying workshop? I'm so used to doing workshops, y'all. It's like we still in a workshop. We not in a workshop, but I'm working. So it feels like a workshop. Damn near feel like a sweatshop. Like, get me out of Santa's sweatshop. So the feelings that are cooking up is allowing for vulnerability so that we can have humility. And it's the humility that's going to make way for us to have the information. But we got to have that humility. That's something that I was seeing. It's like, if you don't have that humility, if you don't humbleize that ego so that you can be able to extract what you need to extract, it's a no-go. It's a no-go. Humbleize that ego or it will be a no-go. I'm still trying to get this light back up on and popping. Oh, okay, it's not going to come up and popping. This is the light we going to have right now. Ashe. So it's a tough thing. We're between a rock and a hard place. Some of us, I'm speaking personally from experience, and that's why I'm sharing what I'm sharing with you all, because I'm seeing where it's getting really intense out there. I'm seeing where the family members, like, they just not getting it. They just not getting it, and they can't get it. You know, it's nothing you could do, but they're not getting it. It's going over their head, right? And I'm seeing where those of us who are breaking the generational curses and breaking the links for them, they don't realize that they're under that umbrella for a moment. They don't realize that. And they have only, as I was telling another relative today, it was like, you know, because they're trying to figure it out. And I'm like, look, it's your choice. I'm only telling you what I know. I've broken the link right now, but it can only hold up temporarily. It's what you do with it. It's what you choose to do with this information. Do you choose to make a life-changing difference? Do you choose to have that Uranus Oya energy radical disruption? See, we got to be willing to be uncomfortable. That's the thing, what holds people back. That's why they can't be vulnerable, because they don't want to be uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to be vulnerable. But they hide it under the scope of, or under the lies of, oh, I don't want to be vulnerable because I don't want people to take advantage of me. No, you don't want to be vulnerable because you don't want to feel. You can't handle it. So that for them, it's a very fearful thing to be vulnerable, because now you got to be responsible as well. Vulnerability is going to lead to that humility. It's allowing your humbleizing the ego so that you can get what you need to get. And a lot is switching up right now. So we got to take our time. We got to find a balance. We can't go from one far end to the next, right? In this spiritual, out here in these spiritual streets. See, some people, they misconstrue it and they think being spiritual is just like being on this high and mighty pedestal, or even being a chosen one. Like, that's not pretty. It ain't pretty. When you a chosen one, it's not pretty. It's ugly as hell out here to be a chosen one. People like to throw that around like, you know, Oh, I'm chosen, I'm chosen. It's a chosen one. It's not pretty when you're the chosen one. The work that you have to do is nitty gritty, never pretty. So we got to be willing to see the ugly when we see the ugly and do the right thing with it. Walk with the ugly until it becomes beautiful. Don't fight with it, don't resist it, but know it, acknowledge it, know what's evil, know what's ugly, know what doesn't belong. Know that the fish don't fry in the kitchen and the beans don't burn on the grill. Discernment. And this is what it takes in the field. This is what 5D is all about. We're in the fifth dimension so that you can realize that the fifth dimension is about the expression of creation in time, through time. It is the expression. What is an expression? The throat chakra. That's why so much of the throat is being activated right now. That's why we've been in the throat chakra season these past 3 months. In the winter season, or the respiriting season, however you want to call it, it was because it was time to express what needs to be expressed. It was time to listen to the atmospheric body, because that's what the throat chakra is, the atmospheric body. So to understand that at this point, at this stage, we're unlocking the codes in the atmosphere, which is where it's always been. All the information has been in the clouds, in the atmosphere. That's how they get internet. So now it's time for us to turn on our cosmic internet, our cosmic intercom with what's going on. And on and on and on and on. My cipher keeps rolling like a rolling stone. It's rolling. And that cipher, for those who don't know, that cipher is 120 degrees of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. 120 degrees of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That is the cipher. That is a $3.06, 360 degrees. Do we have that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding? Everybody got knowledge because we in the age of the knowing. I got it. We get it. But do you have the understanding that leads you to the wisdom? If you don't have understanding in that knowledge, which means you stand under principles of truth within the knowledge that brings you to the proof or the fruit of this truth. That is true fruition. That is true fruition when you allow that knowledge to stand under principles of truth, and then you have wisdom. Then you are in the wise dome of your mind, in the dimensions of your mind. Then and only then. So we have to understand. This is why the love frequency is so important, because love is understanding. The heart chakra unlocks the keys to understanding. It is the peace that surpasses all understanding. And this is what I had to sit in as I was feeling this attack from everybody. And see, this is why you got to be an empowered empath, because if you just feel the attack, you will go off on people. You will go off and the message will get lost, and whatever needs to be done will not be done. And you will, it would just completely go left. And it's not having compassion for the collective. All of that, it's being an immature spirit. It is not spiritual maturation. Spiritual maturation is still having compassion. So finding the balance of how to extract the information out of sensations of what you're feeling, and then with wisdom, knowing what must needs be done. Is this the time? Is this the place? Is this the space? You know, and making sure you don't do spiritual bypassing either. Because some of us may be like, well, I'm supposed to do this because No, really listen to your guides. Really go within and tune in and listen to what needs to be done according to the information. And a lot of times, if you can really read the room, if you can really read the information field, you'll know what needs to be done. They'll show you. It's just like what I was talking about last night, where somebody wanted to dip into my pot. They'll show you, because the fact that you said you want something out my pot, you're telling me you want to dip into my pot. You will know how certain family members are attacking you by what they're doing. Look at when they show up. Look at how they stand in. Look at how they impose sometimes. Listen to the things that they're saying. Sometimes exactly what they're saying is exactly what they're doing. Exactly what they're saying is their intention. Can you read the room? Can you read it? Can you feel it? This is the emotional body. So I'm telling you this on this sacral day. Yesterday was the root. Today is the sacral. I'm working with the 4 core while we lead up until the 17th, which will be the heart, taking it into the heart of heart expansion. That is what we're coming to. As Third Eye Atlas passes Jupiter, it is the full maturation of all the planets that it came here to update. Mars, Venus, Mercury with the Sun, Earth, and now Jupiter. It is the complete update, not an escape, an update into what? Wisdom. Jupiter is what? The planet of expansion and wisdom, expansion into the wisdom. And so this is for the heart expansion as well. It's bringing the heart into a higher vibration if we so choose to. And this heart expansion takes us into a spiritual maturation. Peace, love, and light. I see that you were saying something there. Let me see what you say. I like to catch. Got to put the glasses back on to catch what you're saying. Ooh, yes, it's time for kingdom living with a purpose. Ashe, ashe, edify to unify. I like that. Let me give some hearts back to you. I'm sending hearts back to you. It's time for the kingdom living with a purpose. And I just love that name too. Edify to unify. I say a lot of things with two, like I'll say reveal to heal, or tune in to tune up. Like I love using that too, because there's harmony and duality. Two represents that harmony of duality. And there's a lot of harmonizing happening between Mars and Venus, particularly with Third Eye Atlas doing its thing. So it's harmonizing us. Right now, a lot of what's happening with us, a lot of the things that's even coming up in your life, world, and affairs is to harmonize. It's to teach you to harmonize. It's not to doom and gloom. It's not to take things from you. It is to help you in your ascension if we choose to look at what is being mentioned in the field of information. Do you see what I see? We got to listen to, do you see what I see? Do you feel what I feel? Do you hear what I hear? What are we hearing? Are we working with, remember, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. This, don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. This is principalities. So can you feel what you're feeling and then recognize what is happening in the principalities? Oh, y'all waging war against me. I get it. Like I'm in the position right now where I have to recognize my kin are waging war against me. They are the enemies, and not because, I don't mean enemy as in they're evil, even though they're working with some kind of evil and malevolence, but because they are the opposition, because I am operating in the light and I'm doing the work of the light worker, the light warrior, breaking the generational curse, breaking the karmic loop. Because I'm doing that, anything that is against that is in opposition. And those wounds that they carry, those wounds that they have are in opposition of you who are healing to reveal. Reveal to heal. Sorry, I said it backwards. Those of you who are doing the revealing, because the first thing that happens is a revelation. See, revelation is not just the name of a book in the back of the book. Revelation is what has to happen for transformation. That's why Pluto is in Aquarius right now, bringing revelations of truth through death to rebirth transformation. So yes, some things have to die in order for the new to appear. In order for the rebirth of the new earth, there has to be death. This is why I said we can't be afraid of them words, death, die. Trying to soften it up, talking about I unalive. No. Death to the ego, the misappropriated ego that wants to keep me from my wise ego. Death to the old earth. Death to the old paradigm. It has to go in order for the truth to show. And therefore, Pluto represents that revelation. Empowerment. It's about personal power. And how do you become empowered? By truth. Didn't they say the truth sets you free? So when you get truth, when truth hits you, when you allow revelation to bring truth to you, be revealed. Revelation is about truth. I don't even have to say when revelation brings truth. When you get a revelation, it is with the understanding that truth is being revealed. That's a revelation. And divine revelation allows your superconscious to deposit that directly into your subconscious, ready for you to access it in an instant. That's why sometimes things just jump out of the subconscious. It's because there was a divine revelation. And your Christ conscious or your superconscious dropped it into the subconscious mind. So, yes, Ashe, it's the I am, thank you. It's the death to rebirth, transformation. That's the true revelation. If you ain't have a death for the rebirth, then it's not a true revelation. Something had to die, something had to go. Because you can't carry the old with you. You can't pour old wine into new vases or vase, however you say it. You cannot. You cannot. It just doesn't work that way. So we're going to have to recognize and realize in the remembering of all of this, who we really are, what we're here to feel. We're going to have to stop consuming. The word, I'm hearing the word consume, consumption. We got to stop consuming. We're so primed on consumption that we can't see production. We can't produce. It's blocking our production and the reproduction thereof, because all we're doing is consuming. We're consuming on social media. We're consuming like if I'm not on here for this, I'm not here. And I got to catch myself sometimes, because sometimes we'll just keep scrolling. I get it, but we have to put it down. We can't just consume even with information. When we get information, we need time to digest it. We need to marinate. That's why after Sagittarius, we go into the winter season, into the respiriting season, because Sagittarius is when we get a direct connection with the galactic center, with Mama Universe. And that's a whole lot of light codes when you get that direct connection, particularly at the end of Sagittarius season or month. And it's like after that, now you need to marinate with all that information. Right? The truth shall set you free. That's right, Ashe. The truth shall set you free, but it'll piss you off first. So be willing to accept the ugly truth. This is what I tell people. Be willing to accept the ugly truth. I'm willing. That's the difference between me. Give it to me. Give it to me. I'll take it. And I'll walk with it until it becomes beautiful, because I understand that anywhere that I find beauty, I'm going to find truth and goodness. We have to be willing to find the beauty in the opposition. Whatever's opposing you, it's like, all right, got it. Bring it. Come on, be my demiurge. Be my demiurge, because all the demiurge is an assimilation that allows for the light of wisdom, Sophia. It comes with it, right? I'm not saying I'm asking for bad. But I'm not going to resist it, because I understand that it's part of the assimilation. In order for you to know what love is, you have to know what love is not. Right? In our human understanding here, we come here to have a human experience. And in order for the human to know, in order for the hues of man to know what love is, we have to know what love is not. And again, that is through sensory. Right? That is through sensations and information. Let me see what you were saying there. I got blocked for saying Happy Christmas. What? What you mean you got blocked? Not blocked by, you got blocked by me, not me, because I don't know how to block. I know it ain't me. But somebody blocked you for saying Happy Christmas? Why? Why comes? I mean, I don't do Christmas anyway, but I'm not going to block somebody just for saying Happy Christmas. What I'm going to tell them is Happy Sunrising Day. Because I know where that day come from. But, or unless you mean it like how I use it when I say Christ Mas, meaning more of the Christ consciousness. That's usually how I look at that day. Happy Christ Mas Day, more Christ consciousness, right? Love them for who they are being, exactly. Stand in love. Stand firmly in love with whatever it is. Whatever that opposition is, whatever the ops is, stand in love with that. because the love is what's going to bring the understanding, and then wisdom will come. We may not like it. We may be annoyed. Like, I be annoyed. I'm not gonna lie. In my human suit, I'm annoyed with a lot of the foolishness. I'm annoyed with people that's just not getting it, and deflecting and projecting and doing everything except tapping into their soul in these perilous times. These churchgoers that's been talking about, oh, the end of times and this, and it's like, really? Do y'all recognize? Do y'all see what time it is? And it's not that it's the end of the world, end of times, but it's the end of an age. It's the end of a dimension. It's the end of a lot of things. As we're crossing this bifurcation bridge right now, most of us are, what's happening in this energetic seal is we are coming to the light at the end of the tunnel. We are crossing that bifurcation bridge. For those of you who are able to see the bridge within the bifurcation split, because we have been going through a split, particularly that really split after September. After the last eclipse, there was a split. And this had to do with Third Eye Atlas amping up, amplifying as it moved along our ecliptic plane. It did. And so within this split, it was for us to fine tune some things by a particular time. So around November, it started to get real feely touchy, like real touchy. If y'all remember what was happening around November, November was the retrograde month. Things got real touchy, real sticky, real icky. And it was the test of faith. It really was. And that was to bring us into the sensations and allow us to really feel around in the information field of what's going on. What is the field telling you? So you can know what to do. And we all have this gift. We all have it. It's just some are more attuned than others. And all you got to do is tune in to tune up. If you want to become attuned, it is about tuning in. The only way out of the old world and out of the chaos is going within. So we have to trust that. We got to trust the feelings, even though sometimes they feel like, well, I don't know. Go with, like what I was telling someone, go with your initial feeling. Because intuitively something came up for you. Like someone was asking me like how to read signs and things, like how do I know if this is a sign? Well, I said, well, one thing I stand by is nothing is a coincidence, nothing is an accident. So whenever anything happens, it's always some type of synchronicity, some way, some shape, somehow. Nothing just happens. Like, we have to get out of that mind frame. If you want to work on your third eye and really trusting your intuition, then we have to stop looking at it and passing things off as, oh, that just happened. No, it didn't just happen. There is something in the energetic field that allowed it to happen in the way that it happened to catch your attention. Did it get your attention? And if it did, can you set an intention? Because where attention and intention goes, energy flows and the result shows. So it is all part of the intrinsic design. It is part of the Medu Neter, the divine nature of everything. So when it happens, what are you reading? What y'all read say? You know, I feel like I gotta say that now in my with my Jamaican voice. What y'all read say? Like, I remember an ex of mine, every time his father would say that, and I'm like, what does he say? Why he always say that? Every time we came over, he used to be like, Wagwan, where y'all read say? And I'm like, why he always asking us what we reading? But you know, that's the realest talk right now. That's so real, so true right now in this time. Little did I know in my future we was gonna be talking through the fifth dimension, and that the fifth dimension was all about where y'all read say. The fifth dimension and saying, what are you reading? What are you reading? What are you weeding? What are you seeding? And speaking of seeding, that's what Third Eye Atlas is doing. It's seeding us right now. It's seeding the dimensional plane. It's seeding the earth. It's seeding the solar system as we're being updated and upgraded. And in its seeding, it's activating us to awaken the dormant codes. The dormant codes are in your bloodline. The dormant codes are in the earth. And that's why if we can get into our bloodline, if we can assess and get into the bloodline, by the way, retreat coming up. Retreat coming up. For those of you who are into what I'm saying and you're ready to tap into that bloodline, the retreat, the Ancestral Passage Retreat is coming up the end of April. So tap in, message me. You're going to see the information on it real soon. So email me, akilatextry@gmail.com if that is for you. But we're going to be going deep into that and into the land. So when the blood, this has to do with the root chakra as well. The root chakra has to do with blood, right? So if anybody has any blood issues outside of circulation, because circulation means now it has to do with the heart, the root and the heart. But the blood in and of itself is ancestral. That's deep. The root is rooted in the earth. So the earth has to do with our ancestral lineage. And that's why, and I'm not talking about just people that died before us. I'm talking about the ancestral imprints in time that are the very codes in our bloodline. They live and they exist in our blood. Therefore, it carries on in the memories and in the memory codes of the blood. This is what we're activating, right? This is where you're going to get access. These are the dormant codes that are waking up, that are tapping in. And so when we tune into the earth, we get these codes. When we tune into the blood, we get these codes. We unlock them and we're able to access them. Ashe? This is why Spirit is driving me that way, because I thought we were going to do a retreat on chakras. You know, I thought I was taking my workshop to the retreat level. And for those who have been in my quarterly workshops, we usually do it on the chakras and the energy bodies. We usually do it with the full moon, working with the celestials, as well as working with our energy centers, all 7. That's why it's 7 days. So I thought, hey, let's do a 7-day workshop in Jamaica at the retreat. Spirit was like, nah, I need you to tap into the ancestral codes. That's what's unlocking right now. That's what Jupiter is. Oh my gosh, if I can't wait to just go into what Jupiter has been unlocking for us in the home life, in the family life, and particularly as it relates to Third Eye Atlas, passing it right now while we are in Pisces. So it's really helping us to go deep into the multi-dimensions of even our bloodline. You know, the maternal lineage of time. All of that is really deep. So that's why a lot of families are being activated. The feathers are being ruffled right now. So don't worry about it. If you're going through a lot, if you've been going through it with certain family members, it's for such a time as this. It's very purposeful. It's very divinely orchestrated. It had to happen. It had to happen, and it has to happen, so that the things that need to come up can come up, whether they address them or not. You may be the only one willing to address them. That's fine. Do what you got to do. But know that it needs to be exposed. It's coming up because of the exposure, because not just because people need to be exposed, but because of accountability, because there needs to be acknowledgement. Because why? Fear tells lies in the dark. These demonic entities, these parasitic energies, they love secrets. Secrets are dark places and spaces. Secrets is where there is no light. People don't like to shine light on secrets. Right now, your secrets will be your doom. And so it's important that we expose, so we can expose that darkness, the shadows that lie in the dark, so we can expose it to the light, so that there are no grips for the opposition, so that the parasitic energy cannot entangle into the bloodline. We are doing that right now. So we have to be able to recognize it, to discern, to feel. And I'm saying this because I know some people still not getting it. You really got to pay attention when you're at family functions. These family functions are places and spaces of dysfunction. It's a whole demon shift show. You know, I've been saying that this is what it is. So we got to be able to recognize it. When you feel something, like somebody walked past me and had flicked me, and I felt something, just to kind of show y'all what was happening. It's like, ooh, they trying to poke me. That wasn't just a friendly flick, but they think it is. It's like, hey, how you doing? But no, that was imposition. This is why I'm saying trust what you feel. I felt the imposition. It was like, oh no, that was not friendly. You know, someone else came and was like, hi, don't you remember me? Of course, I was at a family affair, family event. Hi, don't you remember me? And I'm like, your face looks familiar. And then they proceed to tell me, I'm so and so's friend. And it's like, as soon as they said it, it was like a poke. I could feel it. So when you feel it, you may not know what that feeling is. Don't try to figure it out, but trust the feeling. Know that what you felt, what you feel is real. Start telling yourself that when you feel something, it's not just a feeling. What you feel is real. Somebody put that in the chat. I want us to empower that. What I feel is real. You know the deal. I'm eating Burger King right now, but I'm going to fast and go within and stop eating meat. Oh, Shay, Ashe, Ashe. Yes, that's good for what you could. Thank you. For what you feel is real. Put it in the chat. What I feel is real. What you feel is real. Right? And it's good if you could go on a fast right now. I forgot to mention that. So thank you for that, Tay. Tay, the star seed. This is what I'm talking to. My star seed connection. What you feel is real. And we got to honor that and be able to read what's going on in the energy field. Thank you for that. What I feel is real. I am my ancestors. I was never created and neither were they. That's right. Because energy is neither created nor destroyed. So that means what? Your birthday is not your birthday and your death day won't be your death day because you was never born and you never die. What? What? I remember when that was first said to me by my spiritual mentor. I was like, what is wrong with this lady? What she mean? I know my birthday. I was born October 18th. You don't tell me I don't have a birthday, ma'am. But I wasn't that spiritually mature yet. But when you know what you know you was never born and you never die because energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Ashe? So if you can, yes, Tay, fast. Right now, these 4 days, and I've been doing it leading up to, like, I didn't eat nothing all day, especially since today is like a crown chakra day for me, leading up to the new moon. 3 days before the new moon, we start from the crown going down. So that's how I work with my moon work. So it's really like a crown chakra when I look at the moon aspect of it. So usually that's about fasting. We don't eat, or I go for as long as I can without eating. Just some seeds and nuts throughout the day. And then tomorrow I'll be on my third eye with the moon, right? With the moon. But as it pertains to me working with the lower chakras leading up to third eye atlas, I am going from the root into the heart. So yesterday was the root, today is the sacral. Tomorrow will be the solar plexus, and Tuesday will be the heart, bringing it into the heart on the 17th with third eye atlas passing Jupiter. And I want to be by a body of water somewhere, either a river, an ocean, but I really want to be in a deep meditation on that day, opening the portals wherever I am, just like I did when it passed by Mars and entered our solar system on October 3rd. So I'm going to be very intentional about that energy, and I'm just sharing that with you because I didn't want to go through a whole workshop. So I was like, I'm going to just come on and do a live every day. You know, today is a sacral, so I'm just sharing that sacral information with you, which is what we can do when we do what we do, right? With the feelings. So I invite you all to pay attention to your feelings and honoring the sacral. You know, as we went from the root yesterday, we're looking at what we're rooted in. We're looking at the physical things that, you know, reevaluating how we see relationships, how we see jobs. Really and truly evaluate that. While you have some opportunity with Uranus still in Taurus before it leaves and it doesn't return, right? Once it leaves, it already dipped back. It went into it in retrograde. And now once it goes forward into Gemini, everything is like, it's going to be rapid changes in communication, in technology, and in how we get information, how we receive and give information. It's going to be rapid fire information in us through telepathy, through us as technology, right? So be very mindful and aware of that. So what you do, you know, it's on you, but these 4 days, that's what I'm sharing with you. Yesterday was root, today's sacral. So really look at reevaluating what is safety for you, what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel comforted, what makes you feel understood in the root, so that you can work on removing things like fear, because fear blocks the root. We want to remove that. And in the sacral, this is where we really turn over, those fears. When we look at what we're feeling, why do I feel this way, where does this fear come from, and start eradicating it. It's false evidence appearing real, so eradicating it. Ashe. So I'm gonna leave that there with you all on the that's my tidbit, and a little bit on the sacral, or a lot of bit on the sacral. So thank you for those who came through and showed some love, especially on the tick of the talk of the cosmic clock, because it's really hard. I'm telling you, for those of you who come through on TikTok, you are very, very rare. You got to be on some real high frequency to be finding this frequency, because this is not the regular. I'm not saying I'm talking about anything that anybody else don't talk about, but this vessel is a little bit different. It's going to hit a little bit different because of how I live in the truth, right? It's not just what I'm saying out of knowledge. Like, what I'm sharing with you is how I walk in the truth, how I live, move, and have my being in the truth, in the fifth dimension, and understanding the layers of it, right? And even being able to bring you the information about Third Eye Atlas, because not many people are talking about it, and it's a very pivotal and powerful role in our life, world, and affairs, multi-dimensionally, not just in this particular lifetime. So be willing to lose the grip on what you feel is it. Let me say that again. Be willing to lose the grip on what you feel is it. We got to be willing to throw away some things, right? To accept the truth of what the fifth dimension brings. Ashe? Just got Eric Taylor got the #1 badge. Thank you, Eric. #1 badge. Let me send some hearts out to you. I be hearting y'all right back. I'm hearting me. But that's how y'all get the codes when I send out the hearts. It's like pow, pow, pow. Then it sends it out to everybody. And we're able to share that love, light, and truth. So thank you too. Toot, toot. Remember to share too. Share the like so we can get up to 1,000, so we could live vibe a little bit more. Right now we halfway there. We about halfway there. We got about 500. So share the likes. Share the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you, Kenyan. Peace, love, and light. Greetings to you as well. So look up Third Eye Atlas if you haven't. Do your due diligence to look at what's going on in your sacral chakra, right? So that you can pay attention to your emotions, your energy in motion, and remember that they help you to get the information. So you have to be willing to allow the sensation. I don't like to tell people what they gotta do, but this is what it is. Knowing evil is sovereignty. Ashe, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Knowing evil is sovereignty, and we have to be willing to walk in our authenticity for our sovereignty. And knowing evil is knowing the way. Don't hide from evil. We gotta know it. We gotta know it so we can know what not to do. Ashe? Just like I said earlier, if you want to know love, you got to know what love is not. So when you know evil, then you know what is not evil, which is truth, which is love that lights the truth. Ashe? Thank you so much for that, Eric. And Kenyon sharing all the lives. Thanks for sharing the live here, there, and everywhere. It's electric. We getting that electric shock right now. Thank you for the lightning bolt. Somebody had came through and gave me a lightning bolt. Thank you for that. I don't know if they're still there, but lots of love and light to you. So I'm sharing what I can and what I do, and getting us ready for what we about to come through. So be prepared. Do what you can do. Set your intentions. Look at what needs to change. Like I said, what I do is I look at, if I happen to die tomorrow, what is it that I need to do? I ask my higher self, what is it that I need to do, that I came here to do, that I make sure I want to get done in this lifetime? Ask yourself that, so that you can make that power move. Go into your sacred reverence, your higher self, so that you can make that power move and do what you got to do, regardless of how it looks to anybody else, because we're not here for them. We're not here for them. We are here for you're here for your soul unfolding journey. What did you come to do? Not the family. This is not about them being comfortable. This is not about friends being comfortable. I mean, you could choose to make that be your background or your foreground, but we really gotta just say, hey, this is not about you. You know, I had somebody tell me, oh, you know, this is not all about you. I was like, yeah, I never said it was all about me. Yet it is. It's all about me when it comes to my soul journey and my soul's purpose. It's all about me. And everything that I accept from you affects me. So the buck stops here. We're going to have some of them tough conversations with some people. Stop sharing certain things. Stop receiving certain things from people. That's a form of exchange. That is a contract. Stop receiving and stop giving. You don't give to everybody and you don't receive from everybody. It's very, very right now. Because what you do is a contract that you sign and that you pursue. Ashe? And that's the energy that you're going to let go through. Ain't no other way around that. I'm saying. Let me see what you're saying. Peace, love, and light. Hey, S, do you know when it's all going to happen? When the matrix falls? There's not a particular time. The matrix is falling. It's actually been falling before anybody was ever talking about it. This is why so much inventions and stuff were made in the last, 100 years? Like, the fifth dimension has kind of been coming upon us over the last century, if you will. And so there's not an exact date, but there's particular like levels and moments. There's these pivotal moments. There are these, what would I call them? Like markers, if you like energetic mile markers. But there's no one day where we could say, okay, it's going to happen today, tomorrow. It's a happening, and it's still in the happening, and we're getting closer to it, closer and closer. We finally reached the Aquarian age. Like, there's certain things in the atmosphere that puts us there. There's certain things in the cosmosphere, right? The cosmos help guide us. So when certain planets align, that's the tick of the tock of the cosmic clock. Certain things align and the hands of time are moving. So right now we have entered the Aquarian age. We have entered the fifth dimension. We are in 5D, even though it doesn't look like this beautiful new earth that everybody is talking about. We're in the transition phase, and we're going to be in the transition phase for quite some time. Those of us that are here now, we are pioneering the fifth dimension, and we're not going to live long enough to see it. You know, let me not say that. Somebody might really tap into their crystalline body all the way, 100%. Somebody might tap into that next level of body where they could continue living even longer. I don't know, because we're moving from carbon-based body to crystalline body. But regularly speaking, none of us are going to really be an eyewitness to when it's a full-on change. Right? We are in the infant stage of the fifth dimension. We are still in the baby stages of fifth dimension, and we're now moving to another level. So this particular paradigm shift, this particular energetic seal, this right now with Third Eye Atlas is a major shift. It's a major, like if you were to say we're breaking out, this is one of the breakout moves happening right now. And it's not going to look drastically different. For those who have eyes to see, some of us are already seeing the difference. Like, oh shit, it's going down. Basement, right? But for everybody else, it's just going to go over their heads. For most of the world who are not even caring about what's going on in the fifth dimension, don't even know they in the fifth dimension, it's going to go over their heads, and they're going to continue to be living in the shadows of 3D, right? Until the world until it just falls away. It is falling. And the way I see it, to me, for those of us who really, it's your consciousness, right? It's us. When we enter into the fifth dimension, it's not a location, it's the expansion of our consciousness. So for people that may be more like, let's say for me, people like me or at the level that I'm at, for us, we say it already fell. For us, that old world, that matrix, it has fallen away from me because I don't identify with it, right? Time is an illusion. Money is an illusion. Money doesn't run my world the way it runs everybody's world. Even spiritual people who say, yeah, but you need money to do this. You need money to pay the bills. I don't live out of that. Money is not a necessity to me, but money flows because money is really an extension of our true currency, which is our energy. So I only focus on working my energy through spirit. And in that way, money will flow. I don't go looking for money, and I don't worry about it when it starts to dwindle down. It's like, oh my God, no, I don't live in that paradigm. So for me, the matrix is already fallen. Like this whole war that's going on out there, I don't care. That's not my war. I don't care nothing about what's going on in Iran. And it's not that I don't care about other people, but that's not my war. I don't care about what's going on with the president. That's not my president. That don't got nothing to do with me. That is not my reality, right? And that's not me being crazy or delusional. See, people who stuck in the matrix would be like, man, what she mean? That's not the president. That's not the president. That's when you look at it and you say their thing has fallen. Whenever they start putting stuff on the news talking about, oh, this is happening, that don't apply to me because that's for people who's in the matrix. Right? And a lot of people may think they're out, but if you're still worrying about certain things, this is why I said reevaluate your possessions, reevaluate how you see relationships. If you're worrying about a relationship falling away from you, then you're still in the matrix. You're still tied to something in the matrix because they've programmed you to think about it in this way. Right? If you're still thinking about money a certain way, I don't care even if you say, oh, it's just for survival and it's just to pay the bills, then they got you. You're still in the matrix. You could be as spiritual as you want to be. If you're still saying, if there's something in you that's saying, I don't align with this job anymore, but I can't leave it because I got to pay the bills. And I'm not trying to tell nobody how to live their lives, but I'm letting you know that the truth of the matter is you're still stuck in the matrix. You can believe and say all you want. You can say I'm spiritual and I don't believe this is real. But if you feel that that job is draining you, if you recognize that it is not the truth of your being and that you don't belong there, yet you can't find the strength to leave it because of a fear of lack and limitation mindset about money, then you are still tied to the matrix. So it takes great faith to step out of that. It takes great, great faith. And that comes with true revelation, which comes through true sensation. So if you can really allow yourself to feel and get information in the field of information, that information is going to tell you that that's not real. That's not the true timeline reality. You need to be in true time reality, not real time or ideal time. Right? So thank you for that question. I don't know, your spirit just gave more with it, like more clarification, but just for us to understand. And I'm not coming at nobody any type of way if you're living a certain type of way and that's just where you are. But I'm telling you, when you push your faith to that point of this does not define me, then you step out of the matrix. When everybody else in the family is saying, we got a birthday party to go to, and you go, well, I guess I gotta go because it's my family, you're still in the matrix, right? If you don't know how to step out of what everybody else is doing, then you're still in the matrix. If you're still tied, if your identity is still tied to certain things, and we'll talk about that tomorrow when I talk about the solar plexus, we'll talk more about the identity. For those of you who find me tomorrow, we'll talk more about the identity body and the solar plexus. But really, I want us to focus on the feelings and the sensation, the emotional body, because the energy in motion is what is going to help you to feel the sensations that gives you the information. And we got to be very sensitive to that and allow your intuition to guide you. Ashe? So again, thank you for those who came through. We'll be tapping in tomorrow. Let's hurry up and get this to 1,000 likes. And for those of you who want to be a part of the retreat, go ahead and email me. message me and I'll give you information on the retreat next month, last weekend of April. I believe it's the last weekend, but it's the 23rd of April. So we'll be ready to dive deep and really unlock some codes. Ashe, ashe, ashe. So enjoy the rest of your night, morning, whatever, wherever it is, wherever you are. Until we meet again, peace, love, and light. Peace, love, and light. Ashe, out, good night.